it's your friendly neighborhood Potato Witch. Welcome to the show. I know I'm a little late to the Minecraft Dungeons hype, but with so many varied opinions out there about the game, I wanted to take a look at it myself and see which side I agreed with. Is it a good game? A bad game? A mediocre game? Let's find out. Okay, so Minecraft Dungeons is essentially a dungeon crawler with a Minecraft aesthetic. The same blocky voxels that we've all come to know and love over the past, holy crap, over 10 years since the public alpha? That's a long time for a game to stay relevant and popular. It's no wonder that people are slapping the brand onto things that aren't the original game or even anything like the original game when it comes to gameplay. So, as a dungeon crawler, what do you really do in the game? The story is that a dude got outcast from his village, found the Orb of Dominance, which is evil and corrupting, turning him into the Arch-Illager, who wants revenge against the villagers who ostracized him in the first place. You, as the hero, are tasked with defeating the Arch-Illager, and then the game pulls a everything was happy again, or was it? Because you can replay levels with the exact same story cutscenes, and the Arch-Illager appearing at the end to summon bosses to fight you, so the ending is both cheesy and explains why you can do everything over again without anything actually changing. And that's it. No deeper story to it, no hidden lore that's really cool to seek out, just defeat the evil guy, then defeat him again. And I mean, there doesn't have to be any deeper lore to it. Minecraft may have a lot of really awesome stuff hidden in its periphery, things you pick up by inference rather than, say, reading in-game tomes, but not every game has to be filled to the brim with loads of story. Sometimes you want a game that just lets you hack and slash through waves of enemies, and in that regard, Minecraft Dungeons performs pretty well. You make your character, you jump in, and you start whacking things. I wouldn't exactly call it baby's first dungeon crawler, but it is pretty rudimentary as far as dungeon crawlers go, to be perfectly honest. It's not hard to compare it to games that I played when I was younger, like Diablo 2. It comes across very much in the same way, or at least the way I played it. Make a character, get to the killing of monsters. The difference between Minecraft Dungeons and Diablo 2, though, is that even if you skip past all the info dumps and lore in Diablo 2 and just jumped right into the fighting, all of that stuff was still there. Diablo 2 has quests like recovering lost pieces of an ancient artifact to reassemble in order to fight the growing evil in the world. Minecraft Dungeons has destroy some cauldrons so witches don't brew potions for the Arch-Illager anymore. Witches don't appear in levels before that one, so you get no real context for it other than the very short cutscene that appears before the level, but you just have to trust the game when it says that witches are working with the Arch-Illager. Because reasons. The game really isn't any deeper than what you get on the surface. But you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not even going to make the argument that Minecraft is a family-friendly franchise and so needs to appeal to younger people who can't necessarily handle or comprehend a deeper story. Well, you know, that's a point, but it's not the point. A game doesn't have to be super complex to be good, or even to be fun. And Minecraft Dungeons is fun, at least by my standards. I had a blast making my character stronger, progressing through levels and clearing out enemies, experimenting with different weapons, and exploring all the nooks and crannies of the map to find as many secrets as I could. The game has a number of secret treasure chests to find on the maps, some by just making sure to explore dead ends, others by rolling onto otherwise inaccessible areas. More than just secret treasure chests, there are also entire secret areas, extra dungeons that sometimes you can find relatively easily by just exploring, but others that will require multiple playthroughs of a level to make even appear. Which, I mean, I was gonna do anyway for more loot drops and levels, but I absolutely understand why this might frustrate some players, because if you're looking to 100% the game and find all the secrets, a guide isn't always going to be that useful. Not when the only way to make the bonus area appear is just to waste time replaying a level in the hopes of it finally appearing. Know how earlier I compared this game to Diablo 2? That comparison goes beyond merely the feel of the game. See, back in the days of Diablo 1, there was this long-running rumor about a secret cow level, one that gained enough popularity that the development team actually added a secret cow level into Diablo 2. Minecraft Dungeons? It's got a secret cow level. It's an area connected to your camp, and it's just full of mushrooms. The way of accessing it is pretty obscure, requiring not just beating the game on normal difficulty, but also finding 9 secret rooms hidden in the game's levels, most of which you probably won't even come across unless you know to look for them. It's an homage to a major part of the game genre's history, and no lie, I thought that was pretty cool. Speaking of difficulty levels, there are a lot in Minecraft Dungeons. You've got 3 main ones, with Default, Adventure, and Apocalypse, each one unlocked by beating the game on the previous difficulty level, but even within those main 3 levels, there's a curve. Each map features difficulty adjustment, allowing you to tweak things if you're having a rough time or want an additional challenge. There's a limit to this, as some of the later maps don't let you play far easier versions of them, but in most of the maps, you've got your options open to you. Make the game easier than your current power level calls for, and you get less less experience and weaker loot drops. Rise to the challenge, and you get more experience and better loot drops, which can require more strategy, but can catch you up pretty quickly if you're looking for a strength boost. I've seen a few reviews of the game which talk about how increased difficulty mostly just means more ranged enemies, and while that's a little disingenuous, I can't exactly say it's untrue. You can still power through some enemies with melee attacks, but ranged attacks become increasingly useful the more you progress through the game. Mini-bosses will hurt you a lot if they get close, so the best way to take down nearly all of them is to stand as far away as possible, fire arrows at them, and run away if they get closer so that you can do the exact same thing over again until the boss dies. Heck, most actual bosses are taken care of the same way. Melee attacks aren't so much useless against a lot of them, so much as they can do damage to you faster than you can do damage to them. And with healing items having cooldowns, you're gonna die pretty quickly unless you retreat a lot, at which point it's time to start firing arrows. This can make it really difficult to make individual or unique character builds. If you enjoy playing melee characters, most dungeon crawlers allow for that, giving you more HP or more strength so that you can damage things just as much as ranged builds. This makes for good game balance and allows players to play the way they feel most comfortable. But in Minecraft Dungeons, the only question is which weapon stats you'll prioritize. Quicker attack speed and less power, or stronger attacks that take more time. Characters themselves don't gain stats outside of weapon bonuses really, and since you can equip both a melee weapon and a ranged weapon, and indeed you're supposed to, there really is no room for much customization. The biggest thing you get to customize with is weapons and armor enchantments. With each level, you gain an enchantment point, which you use to unlock special features on your equipment. The same equipment with the same stats might have different enchantment options, so it can be worth looking around until you get the enchantments you really want. Myself, I prefer ones that will heal me more to keep me alive for longer, so enchantments like Explorer, which heal me the more I explore the map, or Leeching, where I steal life from mobs I'm attacking. But there are elemental bonuses like Thundering or Fire Aspect, ones that can keep your supply of arrows up like Recycler or Infinity, ones that do more damage like Smiting, or ones that give you more loot like Looting or Prospector. These are useful and can make a difference to how you play the game, but not enough to make up for the otherwise lack of character customizations that you see in pretty much every other dungeon crawler. Those are bonuses, not builds. And the random nature of enchantments on loot drops means that if you're going to try and attempt making a rudimentary build, like having everything tricked out with healing enchantments for instance, you're going to be grinding a lot for loot drops, even for the most basic of equipment. And yeah, every dungeon crawler has grinding for better loot. That's part of the genre. But most dungeon crawlers don't have grinding for the loot that you need to even play in the ways you prefer. It's not about getting stronger, rarer drops to make your character better, it's about getting drops to, well, make your character. And there's a huge difference. Can I just take a moment to talk about the music, though? Minecraft's music is typically pretty chill, good ambient noise that doesn't call much attention to itself, but is still nice to listen to. Minecraft Dungeons, on the other hand, has some epic moments accompanied by a really great soundtrack. And no lie, sometimes I would just stand in a safe spot in a level and let the music play without interruption. Some of the tracks were that good. I mean, just take a listen to a couple of the tracks. It's not in your face and demanding of your attention, but it definitely fits the tone of the game and is a treat to listen to. Which I guess is good, since you'll probably end up listening to some of those tracks a lot when you're hunting for those secrets which don't always appear. Honestly, as fun as this game can be, I think the biggest selling point it has is the Minecraft name. The story campaign is pretty short, and according to howlongtobeat.com, most people take around 5 hours to clear the main story on the default difficulty, with a completionist run taking around 20 hours. So this is a game that costs $20 US for the basic edition. You can beat the story in an afternoon. You can beat all 3 difficulty levels in a weekend. There's no incentive to replay stuff with different character builds, because again, there are no different character builds. So you have to ask yourself, would you pay $20 for a game with that description if the Minecraft name wasn't attached to it? Put another way, Children of Morta is another dungeon crawler that came out last year, costs $2 more than Minecraft Dungeons, has a story campaign that lasts twice as long, has 6 playable characters with individual playstyles, and some unique mechanics that can keep you switching between those characters and trying different things with them. It doesn't have as big a name attached to it, but it does do a whole lot more while costing only a slight bit more. If a newish dungeon crawler is what you're after, then I think you'd get more bang for your buck going with that one instead. Like I said, it's not that Minecraft Dungeons is a bad game. It's just a very mediocre game, one that offers little and mostly sells itself on the name and aesthetic of a very popular brand. And for a brand that made its name on being able to tear down the world and reconstruct it, there's none of that in Minecraft Dungeons. I didn't expect that I'd be able to reconstruct maps to suit me better, but something like collecting resources so I could build cool things at my camp, for instance, would have been nice. The camp gets 2 traders who'll sell you equipment or artifacts, sometimes money spawned in chests, and eventually it'll lead you to the secret cow level, and that's it. Nearly everything the camp does could have actually been accomplished with nothing more than a menu screen between maps. But as we've seen, customization is not the name of this game. Free updates have been promised in the future, plus some paid DLC, so there may come a point where all of these concerns aren't actually concerns anymore, because the game holds all the promise that people wish it held and gave it criticism for not holding. But that day isn't today, and as it stands, I don't think there's enough content in this game for it to really be worth the price. I know it's a thing these days for games to sell on the promise of more content later, but as a longtime reviewer, I stand by what I've always said about this mentality. I can't review what isn't there. I can't say a game has lots of content when much of that potential content hasn't been made and isn't included. So maybe in the future, Minecraft Dungeons will have enough to make it worth the price point, but as it stands right now, if it wasn't for the Minecraft name and aesthetic plastered on it, it would not have anything to really endear itself to a larger audience. It would be a mediocre game trying to swim in a sea of bigger and better games, and it would not have gained traction. It just can't compare. It is fun. What's there is fun. I enjoyed my time with it, and yeah, I'll probably keep playing every now and again to get a little further, because I haven't beaten the Archillager on Apocalypse mode, and I kinda want to see if I can. But once I do, unless some of that promised content involves a significant overhaul of the lack of customization options, there won't really be any reason for me to keep playing. It's fun, the music is beautiful, it's got some decent humor to it, and I love that it's got couch co-op options for multiplayer, but it seems a lot like a one and done, not something you can go back to again and again to experiment with or explore further. Hey, thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. Your support means a lot and helps me know if I'm doing stuff that people want to see more of, so if you liked this video, then please feel free to leave a thumbs up, or comment below letting me know what you thought of Minecraft Dungeons if you've played it. As always, take care of yourselves, and happy gaming!